Free camping versus caravan parks. Now, free camping does not always mean the camping is free. It often means there's no facilities. And it's often a cheaper way to see the country. I definitely suggest getting the WikiCamps app if you haven't already, as there's lots of places there, and it's a peer-to-peer situation, so you'll see real reviews. We hopefully will be listing on the next upgrade as a TAWK logo, because we've got a TAWK support program going, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, but hopefully we'll be listing as a filter for them on the next upgrade. Because sometimes as families, you need to go to caravan parks. You may have swapped your ensuite and the washing machine for extra room for your family in the van. But sometimes the washing machine in the van won't necessarily do a big wash that you need, and sometimes the children just want to bounce on the bouncy pillow, go to the pool, and just be chilled and have some downtime, and I encourage you to do that too. With the caravan parks, this is our TAWK support program I'm going to speak to you about. A lot of them charge, they're going to charge you for the extra for your children, but some of them now start to charge onwards of $10 per child. That's a lot on top of the normal site fees. So for us, some were $15, so it's an extra $45 per child on top of it. It's expensive. So what I've started to do, and it's starting to take off now, finally, is approach these parks and say, you support us and give 2 nights free for my talkers, my TAWK members, camping for the kids. And we will come to you rather than go to the park next door that's charging for kids, or just make it cheaper for us. And when we get there, if your park's so great, you upsell us. We'll stay longer if it's great. If we're comfortable, if we get comfortable, we'll stay. But just give us the opportunity. Now, our ultimate time to stay in that caravan park was usually 3 nights. And that's what I'm saying. I'll get you there, give them cheaper camping, and they'll support you, and you can support them. Now, I've got 43 parks on board. I've had 3 contacts me this week, so some momentum's happening. And a lot of our talkers now are going to caravan parks say, are you a talker supporter? And they say, what's that? I go, oh, well. And they tell them about the program. They usually get the name of the person involved. Contact me, I contact them, we get another park. So the more of us that do this, we can change things. Because we're travelling, we're not just on holiday all the time, we're travelling through, and we are going to stay at a lot of these parks when they are not busy. So, as I say, I encourage you, I've got the TAWK membership cards here today. They're not very expensive, not compared to some. On the website it's $15.50. I've got them here for $10 because it saves me posting them out and writing everything out. And it's for the life of the card, so don't lose it. The only way I could make it financially viable was just to keep it simple. So we've also got a digital one, but you can also upload that card to one of those, I don't know, there's apps nowadays you can get that stores all your cards. So, but a lot of the parks know that some talkers haven't got permanent addresses, so that you can show them on your mobile device. So, as I say, you do need to be TAWK members. I'm exhausted here. Last few frequently asked questions. Being together 24/7. There's a settling-in period, especially for one of you or two of you that haven't spent a lot of time with the children, not used to the chaos of the children. Be patient for each other. Give you both some time out. Go fishing. Go for a walk. Swap it out a little bit. Some say it's about 6 to 8 weeks before the settling-in period finishes. We were a bit the opposite. We actually enjoyed that first time, and then we got a little bit over it. But luckily we arrived in Coral Bay the next day, and we paradise. But then we stopped for a while and we worked in Coral Bay for 4 months, so that was awesome. But as I say, don't forget your down days. Your children won't want to travel every day, nor will you. Those down days are really quite refreshing. You can get some good schooling in. And also, sometimes if you're seeing something all the time, we call it being gorged out. We've been to Carragini, we've seen these amazing things, and then we go to this other gorge, looking at it going, yeah. It was still a beautiful gorge, but we'd seen so many by that stage, so sometimes taking that time out can make you see the beauty again. Should we take the dog? Of course you love your dog. If you can't be without your dog, take it. Travelling families are taking their dogs. You can make it work. You know what it's like in your normal life. You can't take the dog everywhere, nor can you when you're on the road. There's lots of places you won't be able to go, but there's lots of places you will. You might find, or hopefully you'll find other families. Dog sit each other, there's ways around it. A lot of our talker supporters are parks that do take dogs, because they're usually the ones that think a little bit outside the square. So, if you want to take your dog, if you're that keen, take it. Bikes, should we take the bikes? If your family are mad bikers, take them. yeah, it's more weight and you've got to pack them up each time you move through, but if you're keen bikers, take them. If you're not going to suddenly start being them. We didn't. We took them, we thought, yeah, we're definitely going to use. We didn't use them. We didn't. I think one of my children used all the time, you know, we just didn't use them. We actually ended up halfway through, we just left them somewhere. Sold them up. I think we left them with another family actually, yeah. So, if you're normal bikers, take them. But, if you're not, I wouldn't. Washing machines. If you don't have one in the van, definitely grab one of those little ones. It's definitely going to save you a little bit of money. You might not be able to get everything in, but you can definitely do the smalls. So I'd definitely think about investing in a little washing machine. It can save you quite a bit of money on the road. Mobile coverage. Telstra's the best. It's not everywhere. Certainly not everywhere. So there's lots of different plans out there, so I won't go through the plans, so just investigate, but Telstra's probably the best way to go throughout the country still at the moment. Satellite phones. We didn't have one. Some people swear by them, especially if your children, or your children have got medical issues, that might be a consideration. And also if you go really remote. But, you know, there's probably some here today, so I'd go and chat to people, and if that's what you need to feel safe, get one. CBs. I'd definitely think about getting a good CB. Definitely helps you when you're on the road, if you're coming up to road trains. Sid, who did the chat before, he went through there's a whole etiquette around it. Basically, don't slow down for the road train, just acknowledge them, they will sort themselves out. Don't tell them when to go and don't slow down. They'll know. You just let them know you know where they're there. Just be careful if you keep the CB on for a little while, because the language a little bit colourful on the road with the truckies, so that's a thing to consider if you've got little ones around. But yeah, we took them, and we also took little ones for the kids. So if you were in a caravan park, we needed to contact them, or you know, they use it as fun, talking to each other. So definitely worth thinking about. First aid. Definitely get a first aid box, a good one, and do a course. These guys either side of us here today. Let's hope you never need them. Let's hope you never need to call the Royal Flying Doctor Service, but go over there, get yourself a sticker, donate some money, because if you need them, they are worth their weight in gold. So have a look what they've got to say, and definitely think about this. You know, let's hope it never happens, but be prepared. Have a look what they've both got to offer. Now, I could talk forever about this, but I'm not going to. I'm just about out of time, and I think I've covered most of our frequently asked questions. Packing. Packing was one yesterday that came up. So pack light, and then half it, and then half it again. Because you can get things on the road. You can buy whatever you think you might need, you can get it. But don't take it in advance, because you're probably not going to use it. It's bizarre how much stuff we have and how little we need. And that's what when I got back after being on the road for 2 years, I practically cleaned everything out. I started using my nice dinner service. I started using everything. Just storing in the cupboard. What for? No, use everything. You've got so much but need so little. So yeah, definitely half your packing. Travelling Australia with our kids was the best thing that we ever did. That freedom of getting in the car, having a rough idea, but not knowing where you're going to be at the end of the day. Not choosing whether to go left or right. You just don't know. And that freedom still makes me sigh today, and I miss it so much. And that's one of the reasons I also live vicariously through all my talking families. The freedom is amazing. It brought us close together as a family. And my children are teenagers now, and they're still really close. Being on the road kept them young. I think it extended their childhood. And they didn't have the influences of all their peers and all the other bits and pieces that go along with it nowadays. It kept their innocence that little bit longer. So I'd say, start turning your dream into a plan now. Because saying later can so quickly become never. I hope I've encouraged you to do this if you're not already, and I thank you for coming and listening to me today. Thank you.